Hello, everybody, once again to the NECC. We've got some Rainbow Six for you guys today. I'm Treasure, and I'm joined by the illustrious Wealku.
Oh yeah, I don't know about that word, but there's other words that might be more apt. We'll go with it. I'll take the compliment, Trish. I appreciate it. Well, we've got a good matchup here. There's one underdog facing a flawless team. We got Bryant Bulldogs versus uOttawa Gray. So let's get those let's go map band first. Sorry, the order has
Yeah.
switched on me a little bit. So let's see where we're going first, and then we can talk about these lineups. We have a ban on Clubhouse, a ban on Coastline, and then you see Villa, Oregon are the picks, and then two bans lead us into a decider of Cafe if we get there. Of course, it's a best of three, so the max of three maps. Could just see two, though, depending on how it plays out. So Villa, the first map here, chosen, it looks like, by Bryant Bulldogs, or is that them getting defense? It's kind of hard to tell with the way this goes. My bad. Okay, probably chosen by the other team then. All right, well, either way, we can look at these lineups as we have... First off, Bryant Bulldogs.
Yeah, we got Snake, Semi, Skippy, Soviet, and TSS representing for Bryant. And on the other side for you, Ottawa, we have Tommy, OK Sure, Nacho, DKMD, and Yoda. And if you have a keen eye, you may have noticed during the map bans that these maps are going to be staying the same as they have been throughout the rest of the regular season so far. So despite the season change and some changes in Pro League, it's keeping the same here. No one needs to be learning new maps mid-season. That would be a little much to expect, right?
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to throw people off too much. There's already been changes that we can't control. So you'll see in this, the 6 pick has been removed, right? So we have now attacker.
This is so
repick.
exciting.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. That means the attackers throughout the drone phase will be able to change their lineup. The defense will be locked during that time. So it gives a little bit of an advantage, I would say, to those attackers. Of course, they might have to risk a drone to see what the enemies bring in order to counter it, switch their ops to adjust for that. But anyways, I think we should be able to go into the main map of Villa here, first one, as soon as we have the confirmations. But what do you think, just knowing that is the first map? What bands do you expect to come out here, Tresh?
Bands. Well, I mean, with the attacker switching, it's going to be a little more pivotal which attackers you are banning. Or maybe... No, now that I think about it, I guess it's probably less because you're going to be able to play around to what you are missing a little bit more. So Brian's going to have some more flexibility, even if there's a defense that counters it. Even if they have two important operators banned, which I think will still probably be about the same bans that we've usually been seeing. So on the attack, I highly anticipate that Thatcher ban. And on this map, I mean, probably a Nomad is going to come out as well.
Well, just to highlight some other changes, we do have a new HUD. As you can see, the ban phase is even a little different here. The images popping up in a different way. Of course, Thatcher being the first ban is not surprising whatsoever. He is the one who opens up the gates, letting the attackers just funnel in by allowing you to open up any wall you deem virtually. It's really hard to counter him. Jackal going to be the fun to follow it up, as you mentioned. That's a pretty common ban as well. So roamers will have a little bit more breathing room, as they won't be hunted down by getting pinged all over the place. Defense here, though, I would imagine see maybe a Valkyrie ban, a Mira ban, and possibly a Cade ban is the other option. But those are the main three. Outside of that, some teams do deem it necessary to give us some odd bans. So it's still in the running here on this last ban.
Yeah, sometimes see something a little exciting there, but otherwise, still pretty bread and butter here. Villa isn't a map that really, is going to see a lot of crazy stuff usually. A Clash is something that you see sprinkled in there every once in a while. She's pretty effective up by red stairs on the second floor when you're playing an Aviator and Games Room hold, because she's able to just hold down that area and stop the attackers from gaining a lot of ground up through 90 classical hallway, and of course directly into Aviator room where the site actually is. So she can just buy a lot of time if teams aren't super comfortable with dealing with her. So of course not going to be dealing with her here. So that won't be something tested in this match, but the Valkyrie is going to be staying on the board, the Kaid as well. So without Thatcher, it's going to be pretty difficult to be opening up Games Room and, or I guess Vault's wall, as well as Aviator wall. But the team does have... Yeah, I guess that won't even be applicable for a little bit later here. I think we actually did see this previously from uOttawa a couple weeks back as well on stream.
Yeah, going for the off-site. I mean, I have seen in recent times that games and planes has been a little bit harder to defend. Just what I've seen with my eyes. I have no statistical data to back that up yet, but I'm curious to see if it will back me up on that flame. That trophy statue. Some teams seem to like it. Some teams have avoided it. Even going downstairs to the kitchen as a site, it would be preferable in some cases, but that's understandable. You don't have to worry about the hard breaching so much on the bottom site. This is still one where if they get the main wall open up, it's not still the end of the world for the defenders. It's all about control, right? And some key areas to watch out for. It's going to be where Tommy is right now, not any longer, but that astro area, astronomy, and then also over by lamp at the top of the red stairs. Those are two key areas to watch out for. See a little bit of a sneaky snake on OK Sure here, looking out onto the balcony, trying to find these players who might be pushing in. Gonna deem it necessary to back off as they're gonna start droning and can't get a freebie here.
That's a little bit of threat right there, but nothing too scary for Soviet and Snakes. They're going to be making sure that they drone this out plenty, though, which might tick down a few seconds there. Okay, Sure is going to stay in the area, though, just scouting it out, while drones come up Astro Stair and start putting some pressure on Nacho, who is actually going to take the damage right through that little corner through his feet. Skippy playing on the window. That's a great use of that operator.
And Bryant getting an opening kill. They are the ones who have gone 3-0 so far. They're flawless in their division throughout the season. On the other side, uOttawa, we didn't talk about the records too much. They are 0-2. Their first match was going to be a replay, as there was two teams that had swapped divisions, and they happened to have that as their opponent week one. So there'll be a rematch with the person who had taken the spot of their original opponents there in their division. So that's to explain why there might not be the exact same number of matches between these two teams that they've played so far this season. But still 0-2, not the greatest place to be. They're hoping for a resurgence here. They have to kind of start picking up now as the season is getting past the halfway mark. We're going to see Soviet, though, getting that kill on the time. It's only going to help these attackers further, as that is now going to put them in a two-man advantage only halfway through the round.
That Rome has bought a little bit of time for the defense, but was still almost a minute and a half left for uOttawa, and a couple operators pushing up through Astronomy. Semi getting a kill on Yoda is starting to look a little dire. TKMD is not really facing the brunt of it, so he's going to be going for that site retake in just a couple moments, as well as OK Sure's also ended up a little further away from site. There's the start of it, though. DKMD getting both Soviet and TSS, but from behind, the numbers are just going to take their toll. OK Sure is left to do it all in a 1v3.
1v3 situation. He's going to start peeking up the player to his left. He didn't quite say him, but they both missed a little bit of their shots. OK Sure coming out on top, but very much damage, and Semi going to finish it off. Round one going to Bryant on the attack.
Well, that's an attack that really took crazy pressure right off the bat with that first minute or so, giving them 2 kills without any real say back from the defenders. uOttawa, though, we did get to see a couple nice plays there, especially that double kill from DKMD, showing that they're not going to be down and out, even if that record is going to be not in their favor.
Yeah, DK trying to help the team revitalize there in the later part of the run. Got the double kill. Almost had a third one if that player had pushed in a little bit further into statue. Could have got the third one, but they were kind of smart not to try and engage that gunfight either. After not catching it, they went back. Unfortunately, the holes they had made, the feet holes from behind, I think that was defender made, so it ended up being their own demise, as that's the way that they took care of DK in that position. Now they're going to go to the bomb site we kind of expected it to start at, which is planes in games. They have the ace on the board, but they're going to be playing around that cage still, so it's something to keep in mind. They do have the Twitch drones, and there's no Mozzie or Mute to deny that, so as long as they are not aware with their eyes of this Twitch drone, it could be the thing that gets rid of the claw, allows them to open up whatever wall they deem necessary.
Well, this defense is going to be quite a bit different. We do get to see some more of these attacker repicks coming out. I think we actually saw one with the Osa last round, which is a really apt switch, because that window right there specifically up there by Astro is a great spot for her. We mentioned that a little bit before. Bryant has switched off again here to an operator that you normally wouldn't see before this. I think we might see a little bit more of Nook. She's a real neat, but countered by a lot of things. In that she just doesn't bring as much pressure, but she does counter herself a pick like Valkyrie, which the defenders have brought 2 times in a row now.
Yeah, so IQ going to be that direct counter, and I didn't quite catch if that was a switch later. I think it was. It wasn't originally brought in the lineup, right? I could be wrong about that, but that's exactly what the attacker repick allows you to do. And we're going to see the Twitch drone doing some work already, taking out 2 ADSs. That is massive. That shield is now vulnerable. They can just nade it from the window, or maybe bounce it off of the doorway from the doorway of the balcony, but that's still going to be a dangerous position. So we'll see what they decide to do. We're going to see the IQ also working on trying to clear that claw out that I had mentioned before, the Cade claw. It's in a tricky position, so that's exactly why at least you can call that out, and the Twitch drone can come and take care of it. So let's can work in tandem. Skippy going to get that opening kill on the Nacho, so opening kill yet again going in the favor of Bryant. We know how important opening kills can be, so that's giving them a massive advantage right off the bat. Only about a minute in.
uOttawa is just starting to fall behind here. They're really feeling the pressure of so much of their utility being taken away from them. There is a down there on the stairs. I don't know if anyone from Ottawa is going to find those audio calls, but okay, sure actually does, finding that finishing of the pick. So with one downed and one totally out, okay, sure is really showing his pressure downstairs. Skippy is going to finish him off though and find the res for Semi. There's still 3 players on the defense. They're doing a little bit better on time at this rate, but it's not too different from the last round that we just saw.
Oh, Tommy creeping up in study, gets that kill onto the player in classical corner. Snake's going to push up, using that shield now to their advantage, as that was originally there for a defender. Now the attackers can use it themselves. Wary of the player who had just peeked. That was Tommy, but it looks like they have backed off. So now a little bit of a stalemate. Going to be holding the angles tight to the wall. Tommy going for a peek out. We'll see if they can get the kill, but they don't. Snake's going to capitalize on the missed opportunity, getting the headshot onto Tommy. Now 3v2, so these defenders yet again in a precarious situation, but time is starting to get a little bit more on their side. Only 40 seconds are going to remain. These attackers have to start pushing in now. They know the position of these 2 defenders. Yoda going to get that kill with the SMG-11 in hand. Now it's a 2v2. That's also going to be diffuser down. Both these attackers have taken some damage. Now all they have to do is play out the time, and they can win this round on defense.
Yoda does still have a pivotal position, getting that first kill, holding down Games Room, while DKMD can come around on a flank, getting another kill with the SMG-11. He still had another smoke in pocket with the timer just about run dry. That's a great anchoring clutch up from the defense. uOttawa showing us that they're not going to be out, even if the round's going to start a little precariously in the first 45 seconds to a minute. They still have what it takes to find that out in the end. DKMD making another showing as well.
Yeah, I was going to mention that DK, yet again, one of the last alive. Last time had gotten some kills, couldn't bring it to fruition for the round win, but this time, with the help of Yoda, able to capitalize with the time as well, pushing those attackers in. They didn't have the luxury of backing out and finding a new avenue. Well, they're going to take that opportunity and bring it home. Now 1-1 apiece, so evened up again. They're going to have to go to a different bomb site, though, so they're going to repeat the first round where they went to statue and trophy. Hopefully this time, for their sake, they're looking to do a little bit better.
Yeah, that definitely indicates a little more confidence coming off of a winning round, and obviously they prefer their trophy objective if they're going to be going there already again. So this is just going to be feeling a little bit more comfortable for them. They just need to have that a little bit of precognizance of what the opponents are going to be bringing against them, and we see quite a bit of the lineup being exactly the same as round 1 from Bryant. So this is actually something where uOttawa now has a little bit more knowledge. They can play around it a little more, because as defenders, they can still set up and make Bryant play at their pace.
True enough. Also, that's something to watch out for. They had gotten punished for not taking care of the OSA. You don't have impacts. You normally that a Wamai is going to bring impacts. This time they've decided instead to bring beepers, which I understand they can be pretty powerful, but when you know they're bringing an OSA, instead of wasting a C4, because they usually can get away from the shield in time, just use your impacts. Take care of those shields. Instead, they don't have the impact. So that's something I'm going to be watching for. How are they going to counter the play they have seen on that OSA on the window of Astro? Because I imagine that's, again, where they're going to be playing.
Well, as it is, uOttawa is starting to push from the first floor here. They've done their due diligence droning up to make sure that they don't have much resistance to play with below objective. And with that, they're able to start moving up. There is quite a bit of intel on the defense, though. So even if there aren't players around, we do see those cams giving out pings. And interestingly, Tommy and OK Sure lurking below site, waiting for the attackers to step up.
Nacho took a lot of damage there, so once again taking damage from that window. This time they're not killed, but Semi below getting that kill on the Tommy. We saw him creeping around the mudroom to get that kill into kitchen. Tommy not aware. So much focus on trying to get the C4 on the ceiling. They're not aware that they're being pounced on from behind. Okay, sure. Over there in Memo might be found out by that drone to see a ping coming through. So it looks like Soviet's going to be the one to try and capitalize on the information. But so far, it's just a staring contest, both waiting for the other one to push into them. Skippy's going to be just hanging out in this window while the teammates are pushing in to the bathroom area, just trying to get some of that map control. Working in tandem, you have the grenades coming out, and it gets the kill on the Nacho. There it is. Semi having a huge impact on this round so far.
Nacho took a little longer to dislodge this round, but he's sticking in there. Yoda making some impact earlier than last time as well, though, and that's what got them through in a round previously. He's taking some damage here while, the action comes out down below. Okay, sure, barely turning around at the wrong moment there. Soviet was the one that ended up being more patient and getting rewarded for it. The numbers are starting to look dire for uOttawa here as Bryant is happy to charge their way right up Astro just like last time. This is all going to their plan.
Well, Yoda took a little bit of damage just past the halfway mark now, and so it's DK and Yoda. We've seen this combo clutch out last round. Can they do it again? Yoda and that SMG-11 on a tear. Triple kill on the round. They've been so deadly, such an anchor for their team. Unfortunately, it's still going to be more to do here in this round. The grenade's going to make them push out, and Soviet's going to capitalize. DK in the 1v2 now. Hearing the sound calls, they know that they have to push in. They're playing at least the time. 20 seconds remaining. They go for the swing, but Soviet shutting them down. Bryant taking that site yet again.
I like that we're seeing these multi-kills kind of passed around for Bryant. It's not really any hero plays, which is a little bit what's being relied upon to find more pressure from uOttawa. We're seeing another 3K from Yoda, but it's answered with that 3K from Soviet, and he had a little more pressure from the teammates, and they're able to just clamp down on site just as they had before, and this is going to force not a change, but a doubling down from uOttawa.
Well, that's 2 times they've lost the site, and they're going to go a 3rd time now. If you lose a site, on a map 3 times, that is half your rounds of defense on a single site and half of your rounds given to the other team. They better hope that they have a game plan here that can counter it, because you can't really justify going here again at this point. You could have opted to go somewhere else, build up some more momentum for yourself. You could go back downstairs where we've seen these teams play in the past for sure. I mean, you have to have a 3rd site. Why not throw it out there? Go downstairs, give it a go, and then you at least can go back up to the planes and games, and then you try trophy statue. But no, they're going to go right away to it, and I am a little worried about it. Now, it could pay off. Maybe this is the round that they have something to throw at Bryant to put a wrench in their gears, but so far it has been a well-oiled machine, and they are looking spicy. Can't let them get too far ahead of you, or else they might walk away with it.
Well, here's a change right off the bat. The roster's going to be staying the same, but OK Sure is looking for a spawn peek over there where we keep seeing Skippy on the window, but this time there is no Osa on the lineup. They don't really have any way of knowing that, of course. Slightly different game plan from Bryant this time. They don't want to get countered, having pulled out the same push 3 times in a row, but there's a little change up from Ottawa. They're roaming a little bit more aggressively here. They need to get these early picks because they just keep losing them, and it just cascades into more and more pressure for the attackers.
Tommy hanging out. I don't know if they droned him. Might have been a missed drone. Could capitalize on it. And it's all dependent on this drone work. 2 people on drones, I think, outside that window. He has a chance here to get a kill. Or they might just feed into him. They're going to be pushing through that window soon if they don't re-drone this area. We do see a drone coming back, Soviet. But does he see the player in the closet? I think they might have just saw him. Tommy going to opt to stay there. There's 2 people outside that window with grenades. They can easily nade him out. He has to be careful here, or else this could be a lost cause, but they push into him. They
didn't see him. No way. That's amazing for Tommy. The first kill going to the defenders here, and he's getting sought out again. Just like you said, there are grenades available, and Soviet is one of those players with them, even if one set has been lost. Ooh, the move to go on drones here. They don't know that Tommy's still waiting, lurking at that window.
Well, this is why you re-drone, and I thought they had seen him. Apparently not. They have the diffuser, at least in the bedroom. They're getting ready to get some sort of execute, but Tommy's punishing him down below. Here it is. This is the change they needed. A 2K to open up the round for Bryant's deficit, as uOttawa is now in a man advantage, up by 2. Now the time is also getting down there. Just about a minute remaining here. These attackers have to get something going. They still have nades in the pocket of the knock. And then they still have some drone work that can be done. Skippy getting that kill on the knock. Speak of the devil. DKMD is off the board. That is one of the people who was helped with the clutch situation. So that's a good kill, but still more to be done.
Well, it doesn't look like it's going to need to be such a clutch from Ottawa at this rate with the timer ticking down. Less than a minute to go, but Skippy does find a second kill for the team. Evens up the numbers at least, but they don't have quite the pressure they have on previous rounds. They don't even have a player all the way up Astro's stairs. I think there's still a shield to deal with, even using a grenade there to find a little avenue through the floor, but it's not going to do much for Skippy. He's going to lose his teammate as well, as Tommy finds the third kill in this round, and Skippy is all alone. He's done a lot for the team, but this one is going to be a tough hill to climb.
Well, 3 to 1 is the ratio here. Skippy, they've done some damage here. The 2 kills is from them, so they'd have to get an ace here to try and magically make this happen, but the smoke is going to choke them out. They don't want to push into it. Looks like they're just going to bait for the kills at this point. They know that they can't really do anything, so they're just going to play the KD game right now. Maybe get a kill from above, but no, it's not going to happen. Time will elapse. The round will be won by Ottawa, so while I had some doubts, they have proven me wrong. I eat my words. They finally make a win on statue and trophy.
Yeah, this time around one on the back of Tommy. Most of the credit for this round goes to that roam, and a little bit of it also goes, unfortunately, to the droning or the misdroning for Bryant. That's not credit they want to have, though. It doesn't feel good to have overdroned with 2 players droning. It's a mistake. Like, it happens. It happens at every level of play. Not too much to say about it, but it's going to hurt if you do miss those spots.
Well, a small criticism I would have, just to, because it's constructive criticism, is the player who pushed him was the Maverick first from the side, and that's the angle that's the longest for Tommy. That's exactly the direction they're going to be looking. The Fink is the one who's on the same side of the window, so they'd have to do a full turn around to try and see that player. So the Finka should have been the one to try and push that. I think they might have actually drawn him, and then they just missed the opportunity. That's what I'm thinking might have happened with the Maverick pushing up there. Maybe not. But either way, the Finka should have been the one to throw the nade. They could have just bounced it off of the windowsill, had it gone back in their direction, but on the inside of the room, bam, that's a kill right there. So small criticism. Could have been a kill, but also you got to think about who has the right angle. Got to use your utility as well.
Yeah, those are actually great points, especially when you mentioned that they both had nades earlier in the round. That just really contextualized a lot of that, and had to just be, they didn't think about it. They thought about, easy person to pick off there with the gun, but the grenades are such free kills in those kinds of situations. I mean, that's why you're bringing them, and they are bringing a lot of them. Bryant's got 3 sets of them for this round. They've made good use of them, actually, throughout a lot of these situations. They got 2 shields to be dealing with, so burning through some of these ADSs might be a little bit of a problem, but they have nades to do it if they really need to. And after that, there's sweet explosives. Woo! Tommy feeling it with getting overly aggressive here, just pumping that up and getting more and more kills. Starting this first one off, it's another first kill for uOttawa.
Yeah, opening kill. They're starting to get a little bit heated here, as the first couple rounds they'd lost the opening kills. The last 2 or 3 even, they've started to get the opening kills in their favor now. So on 90, though, Skippy going to be doing their job. They've gotten some kills here and there to get up to 5. So we look around the lobby, and that is still going to be tied for the most with a couple other players. Each team having some players with 5, actually. So that's really nice to see some well-rounded siege. We're going to see DK, though, pushing up. They're aware that someone's on the window. That's why the shield's there to protect you. And all you have to really do is wait on the defense, right? So these attackers have to make something happen. The thing I would like to mention, though, is we have seen 2 roamers at least off-site. If the information was gleaned by Bryant, they could do a more strategic push into site directly instead of doing these long clears, knowing that there's only 3 players on site max at that point. So that's something you could see adjusted for, but it's all based on information. Do they know that? To know that they can push site, right? If they don't know it, then they're not going to do it, right? So that's just something to watch out for as the game progresses here the last few rounds until they switch sides. Can they adjust to what they're seeing from the defense?
It looks like the north side has been mostly taken, except for OK Sure still sticking up there. 2 players swing him at the same time. They're going to get him, but he does trade out for himself, taking Semi down along with him. But finally, the attackers have full angles from north side of the map, and they have a player over here, like you said before, on classical windows. They can start pinching their way into classical and actually push a player off of that shield. That's what those frags are going to be really important for.
It's unfortunate though because they have 3 people, only 1 set of nades, and your heart breach is still out in the window. So they have to get in there. You might still have a claw protecting the walls. And they can actually reallocate the claw if they put it in a good position where they can grab it and throw it on that wall into vault. So if they know you're doing a north side take and you're not pushing it from study, they don't even have to worry about it. Take the claw from there and throw it on the vault wall. Then you're stuck pushing it. And as a matter of fact, they're kind of stuck anyways. You do see someone rotate around, but Tommy's going to be getting that kill in TSS. Now it's a 2v4 situation. You see the push up from Ibana, and Skippy's going to get that kill in Nacho. Some missed shots here and missed opportunities, though. That Bearing 9 can't find it. Soviet pushing in, though, gets Tommy. It's a 2v2 situation. Dying moments in a gunfight. We're going to see DK get Skippy, but now can Soviet make something happen? It's not going to be enough time, unfortunately for them, but uOttawa take another round.
Well, the player on the shield in Classical Hallway actually took a lot of time. Okay, sure, of course, also burning through almost a minute there for the north side clear. Could have happened a little bit earlier for Bryant, but once it did, they didn't capitalize off of it fully. The grenade needed to go down Classical Hallway, take out that shield immediately as soon as they knew that north side was clear. And instead, they had pressure there, and they had to send a player up main stairs to try and fight from behind, and there was another defender over there, so they just got stalled out entirely by default site plays. After that point, they had a minute to deal with it, which is going to be tight anyways. But the Bulldogs missing out on the objective plays there.
It's really 2 ways of handling it, right? There's really 2 ways of handling this. You either do a really good job with the drone work. Like, no offense to them. Again, I'm not trying to belittle them, but the drones just haven't been able to find those roamers clearly because they've been just getting kind of freebie kills on them. So you have to really dedicate everyone to clearing those roamers if you're going to do it, which will probably take about half the round. Then you could potentially get a 2-man advantage if you don't lose anyone. You take care of those 2 roamers, or you ignore them and don't feed into them. You have to be aware they're probably on the opposite side of the map or below site or something. So you try and do as much of a direct push as you possibly can onto site and just go for it, right? Just kind of rush them a little bit, get some things opened up, and then just go for it. That's really the only 2 options. You can't go halfway one, halfway the other, which is kind of what we're seeing from Bryant, and they're getting caught out for it. So these roamers are just going to punch them if they can't execute on site quickly. So something to keep aware of as we go into this last round of uOttawa's defense, and then we'll switch sides. Can they go up 4-2, or can Bryant get an even half before the split?
See, that's interesting there that you mentioned. I think for the second time that maybe paying attention to the roamers so much isn't really doing Bryant the greatest service, because they have phenomenal flank drones quite consistently, and they should just let their dead players on the cans be doing that job, because with all the work that they've been setting up already, they've got it handed to themselves. They've handed it to themselves in the future, and they're not using those flank drones for that sense of security and just focusing on this site. This round, though, we're seeing some more roam doing a lot. Okay, sure, finding a peak, takes out Semi. That's going to be that pair of frag grenades gone again. That was the diffuser down, which forced Soviet to have to rotate back outside, losing some time for droning or maybe even pushing into a room. So already a minute down, and there really hasn't been any boots stepped into the building yet.
Yeah, they got the opening kill on them again. They are getting hit with these peaks out in the beginning of the rounds, and it doesn't always net something, but they're not losing anything for it. They're not getting punished for these early peaks, and oftentimes that's one of the signs. Now, Skippy with a nice peek in is going to get DK taken off. That is a good kill to get. See another player playing in the back. I believe that's Yoda, who just took some damage. So Skippy is aware of another position of a player. You see them pushing straight to site here. This could work out. Now, the only problem is leaving the vertical play for the defenders, and that's a nice nade coming in, sailing through, knocking Yoda down. They can just push into site now, but there could be some vertical pressure from the attackers if they, or the defenders, excuse me, if they had opened up. So those lines of sight are available if they have a shotgun. You see Tommy's actually going to be the one to rotate down to maybe try and help their teammate up. The drone's actually going to give away their position. Their power was not activated. Vigil can cloak themselves. It's just going to be aggressively trying to peek out, rotating now to Memo. It's down to a minute remaining. Can the attackers get the execute?
There is potential for vertical pressure from the defenders, but most of them are having to retake site right now. There's the confirmation of the down, and no player is seen in Pottery. One of them moving into it right now, though, is Tommy's back there with his cloaking on this time, but Skippy is going to find his head before he finds an opportunity to do anything. There's only 2 players left for the defense. They have to push their way onto site with Soviet and TSS finding 2 more kills. Soviet's able to put down the plant, and Nacho has a C4 available to him, and the MP5K, the stronger of his two gun choices for this kind of situation. But he's just not going to be able to find it with so many guns bearing down on him. And I gotta say, it's a little satisfying. We can pat ourselves on the back here. Bryant really focusing on the site more and noticing that there's been a really heavy focus towards Rome in the last couple of rounds from Ottawa, and they flourished for it.
See, they did exactly what we mentioned. You focus on sight. If they're going to play off, they don't have bodies in sight to stop you. Bam, just hit excite. Perfect. Now, the only problem is that is a site on the first floor. And you mentioned they didn't really have the capability of having vertical play. The defenders didn't. So if they had brought a shotgun above and shotgun opened some holes, they could have maybe punished those attackers for pushing straight to site. So there's always that tic-tac-toe kind of game going back and forth between teams. You got to make sure, you got to think about this. Do you think they're actually going to do that? It's a little bit of a mind game at points. Now, the attackers have that advantage, though, that they can switch those players now in the drone phase by looking at what is the site setup. So maybe they had the information knowing that maybe someone got eyes on the mute and said, oh, they don't have a shotgun. They can't be above us. Could have been. I don't know. But something to think about. Moving into the half now, we are at an even pace. 3-3 apiece. Bryant now get to show us what they can do on defense. And, well, uOttawa, we haven't seen an attacking round yet. They're going to have to show us what they can do. The first bomb site is going to be planes and games. And you can see the lineups are quite a bit different on each side. A little bit more similar on attack for uOttawa. We've seen all those operators brought on the side of Bryant when they were on attack. But on defense, we're seeing an Ella being brought.
Yeah, and a castle on planes and games, just a little bit exciting. I didn't actually catch. Oh, okay, there's going to be stopping or at least eating away at the utility on the north side over by Red Stairs, which is pretty common push. So actually, this is a great answer. Well, pre-answer, I guess, for what uOttawa is actually doing. They're going to have to force their ways through Semi, who's set up with Grismots and a shield available nearby with those castles. They're just going to waste as much time as they can before the attackers can actually make their way down to Classical Hall, trying to stall it out, just like we saw happen vice versa when Bryant was attacking and got kind of stuck on Classical Hall there.
Well, Semi on the roam takes a decent bit of damage. We're going to see the drone does catch them, so they have to get out of there before someone on that window takes care of them. They're going to be lurking more. Not a full retreat. The drone's going to come through. I think their sight might have actually blocked the vision they would have had onto that drone. See the peek coming through, but Tommy just instantly gets the headshot. That's going to be the opening kill coming for uOttawa. Really good way to start their first attacking round. They already have this complete site control, or not site control, excuse me, the north side of the map control, and not even halfway through the round.
Yeah, now they're finding those castle barricades. Not going to stop them for long. Plenty of explosives available. Oh no, but that gunstick is going to find the doorway instead. It's a little too hasty of a flick. But as soon as they do take down that castle barricade with whatever other utility they have available, they're going to be matched up with TSS, who's actually going with that TCS G12, which is pretty deadly at this range. One of the few guns that's going to be giving you that 2x sight on defense and packs a wallop in the chest.
Well, the shield is going to be cleared. He knows that they are punching that castle barricade. Eventually, we'll open it up, right? And that is the idea, though. It bought some time. It took them a little bit of time to just punch that down. Some damage being done, and Tommy using that LMG to the wall. It's worth, gets the kill onto Soviet. TSS, though, with that TCSG in the back, gets a double kill. In fact, the shotgun in hand. That's a really good job. Skippy getting that kill on the Tommy, shutting down their rampage. Now it's a 3v2. The defenders having the advantage. Some damage done, but not a bunch to Nacho, and then actually shows their house that back up to full. That's kind of weird.
As my B connection thing or something else from this new season here. Almost shooting teammate in the head right there. Skippy's gonna find DKMD, and Nacho is all alone in sight. All of the utility is popping off, though. Grismots, the electrification on the wall. Even there's TSS with the TSS G12. Say that 5 times fast, but he's not gonna quite get it as he does go down to TSS. But finally, the defenders do get in a crazy little end to the round. They did stall out a little bit over there by Red Stairs trying to get into Classical, just like we anticipated, but I didn't really anticipate punching down that castle barricade.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. With no sledge in pocket, and that's the thing. Had they spotted the castle out, they might have been able to allocate if they thought it was worthwhile to get a sledge and switch out a different op. That's the advantage of that attacker repick. Just want to point that out one more time because it is new, right? It's always important to highlight how much of an advantage that can be. But teams again are going to be getting used to it. is brand new. The new season just started yesterday. It's kind of hard to get a feel for it.
This is my first time seeing attacker repick in a game, actually, in the live build, because I just haven't had a chance to get into anything other than a couple of death matches just to check that out. So it's just brand new, so new that I haven't even seen it before this match. So there's so much untapped potential that's like only been theory crafted up until now. So we're going to see a lot of that come out. So there's going to be blunders. There's going to be exciting plays with it.
I agree. Now, if you look at the overlay actually on Yoda, you can see that that actually shows us the swap out. So you see Flores from Maverick. You see the Lion going over. So they already have switched someone out. And then Sledge you saw switch over to the Finka. So that's, again, just how much of an advantage that can be. They didn't see any castle barricades probably being put up. So they're like, we don't need the Sledge. I'd rather the Finka. And I can agree with that. You know, the Sledge is great and all, but Finka's boosting can help your teammates get back up without even being next to them. And then Finka's gun is like, you know, depending on preference, could be more preferable than Sledge's. It's all dependent on individual players, but Finka certainly more of that entry op. You don't feel like you're losing too much if you die versus Sledge. It's like, oh man, you could have helped us with like critical play or castle barricades, whatever. So maybe it's just a confidence thing too.
Skippy gets himself spotted out here, playing the same position, though, with another opponent on the window. It's time to get going, though. You don't want to get pinched out so early. He's just got to make his presence known and skedaddle on off to find another corner to hold. Well, Ottawa has to spend a little bit more time droning, especially since they're not sure what they're dealing with when it comes to Vigil's position.
See, Skippy's at 10 kills, so the first one to hit the double digits and by quite a margin, too. I think the next highest was 6 that I saw. 8 actually, and okay. Tommy. Sorry, don't want to underestimate Tommy on that LMG over there. So still has the gun to go burr with and get some extra frags here in this round. But it's all quiet on the western front here and southern front, I suppose, as that's where the attackers were. And you see a giant rotate over. 4 players now going to go over and get onto that balcony and probably get an execute onto the bedroom. So that's an interesting thing to see them go all the way from one side to the other. It's going to waste a bit of time, though, is the concern. Is halfway through the round now, and they're just going to start getting into bedroom and then maybe getting that wall open. So we'll see how they play it. It's not impossible to do, but they haven't helped themselves at all with time.
Yeah, they might have realized that there's no Kaid, so it might be a little bit easier to get those bandit batteries off, but they do have their whole lineup pushed up towards master bedroom, with the exception of just Tommy. So Tommy has been doing quite well, but he's going to have to deal with quite a bit, as the roamers have already found out where he's coming from. Semi's waiting around looking for that opportunity. On site, though, I think we see a Retero drone finding its mark and taking out the bandit batteries. This is one of their repicks. They're really taking this as an answer to the fact that there's those ADSs and some shields that need to be removed, as well as the bandit batteries. Now, the Hibana pellets are going to be doing their job, and the lines of sight into objective have really taken hold. With astronomy pressure, it's about to look a little bit worrisome for Bryant.
30 seconds remaining. 5v5. Everybody is up and able, but we'll see who can come out in the giant frag fest that is about to begin. The breach is opened. It's not the greatest lines of sight, but OK sure is going to make work of it. Snake's going to be off the board. That's the player who's in Astra, but TSS, an instant refrag. That's on Tommy. That's the LMG downed early. Now a 4v4, but now time is going to remain. uOttawa has to get in and get a plant down. They are getting choked out by the smoke. Pushing in, DK is going to get a kill and push in, but does with the diffuser in hand. Yoda getting a kill, but Soviet refrag, and it's all back and forth. And Yoda in a 1v1, but no time remaining. Bryant are going to just barely eke out of that situation with the win.
That is a close one. It's pretty surprising that actually came down to the wire that much, with the time showing so little left for the attackers. But Bryant do pull ahead. If you come into a situation where there's 5v5, it's so hard to get a plant down, which means that the real advantage that attackers have has kind of gone by the wayside. They can't play time themselves, and if a single defender is still going to be up, it's just going to end. I mean, the numbers game is never on their side. I think that rotate, like you said before, really hurt, with a minute and a half of action phase going by the wayside. And even though they opened up the wall really quickly, I mean, if you hadn't had to rotate, if they'd originally dedicated their forces up there, that would have been a breeze getting into objective.
Indeed. 2 rounds in a row. Bryant doing well in their defense, trying to show uOttawa that, hey, you can get a split half on our attack. That is just fine and dandy with us. We will go ahead and just show out on defense. So here we go. Third bomb site can get the full rotation. If they can, that's going to make uOttawa in a very uncomfortable position on map 1, as they will be on map point for the rest of it. It, in fact, could end in 2 rounds here if Bryant can just get 2 in a row. So we have to see uOttawa show us a little bit something on attack. It's really close, but had they pushed maybe a little earlier, that 1v1 has a little more time to just see how it plays out, and then maybe Yoda clutches it up, but just didn't have any time to do so. And that's the danger of a full rotation. After spawning somewhere, you have to rotate all the way to the other side of the map, and then you start getting all the boxes checked. You know, it's just something that you have to be a little bit more cognizant of, and Snake's going to be trying to buy some more time here.
All right, once again, droning out through the bottom here, the attackers trying to find that pressure on the south side. This is the push that they were going with originally last round, so they're going to be defaulting more towards that. I don't think that they're going to be making the mistake of giving away so much of their time this round. They do have a lot of drones to work with still, only one of them being picked off, and they do have some additional ones from Yoda as well, so he's not really going to be hurting for intel having lost his one drone.
Yeah, not too bad. I haven't really spoken about the drone economy, but yeah, you're right. It looks pretty good. 9 drones still in pocket. See, NECC is going to allow you to move in very quietly. Those cameras that might be up are not going to be spotting them out either. Perfectly invisible. Tommy with the LMG obviously didn't have much of an impact last round, but also didn't have much time to have impact. So maybe this time they can start where they left off a couple rounds ago. Playing on site, though, we're going to see the castle has a backup shotgun, but in this case, it's actually brought the front shotgun, the main weapon shotgun. The peek out's going to try and net a kill. Skippy taking some damage, but has a healing unit right next to them anyway, so they're going to be healed right back up, close to full health. The engagement kind of ends up with a tit for tat, as both players are just a little bit damaged, but nothing too severe just yet.
DKMD gets that wall. They've opened up some more pressure into Memorial, which is where we've already seen a player holding out. So Soviet smokes are immediately going to buy some time for an escape. And Semi up top impacting the hatch actually was a phenomenal moment right there. Saves their teammate in Memorial from that added pressure from a sudden push. He's going to lose his life for it, though. DKMD finds his head through that hatch that he just opened up. So this does leave Skippy a little more out of position, but he's going to be playing a die here. He wants to find as much time or kills as he can while still in that position. DKMD finding another pick on Soviet as well. Soviet having so much impact earlier, and Tommy has the intel to work with, takes out Skippy. Snakes is the only one left here as the attackers blaze into objective. He's going to have to drop it. It's not going to be on that hatch. They already know where the hatch is, and there's someone playing up there. Plant's starting to go down.
Well, Plant going down. Player was injured and then helped back up now. So 1v4. Everyone's up and able. A little bit of damage done to OK Sure, but that's fine. He still got a gun in hand. Yoda playing above, trying to find where this lurker went. Can't quite find them, but might have the angle on them from behind. But the drop comes through Snakes. I mean, a very tough situation. 1v4. You have to have a 7.5 roughly amount of time on the timer to get that defuse. And well, now they're just getting harassed from all over. Snakes can get Yoda, but there's not enough time really to get in here, get these kills unless they do it right now. And it just doesn't look like they just don't have the angles. They don't have the time. And unfortunately, this is going to be a round loss for them. But on the other side, uOttawa, excellent execute. Getting those kills in early round is going to allow them to bring it to fruition of a win. And that's going to put us back into another bomb site, I imagine.
And Miss Katie suffering there a little bit for a teammate's grenade. But we've seen a lot of clutches already tonight. And this one, it just isn't in the books for Snakes. He could have been in a power position there playing up top, except the eyes were already looking there. He just, like you said, didn't have the angles, just was deprived of the ability to even get into sight and really go for the retake. It was lost by that point. I mean, with 3 kills on sight in about a 45-second span, that's a round won by the attackers in just about any situation. I mean, you have to be perfect on the sticks to find that clutch.
They really have to kind of give you bodies, too. We did see one body of Yoda, but that's kind of like the one you expect. That's the one trying to hunt them while everyone else is just holding angles on the diffuser. It's the right way to play it, right? At least you can shut them down and not worry about it, or at least, that player can hunt them down from behind too if they do drop and everything. And
yeah, it does give you some intel so you don't get surprised, right?
Exactly, yeah. So that's all it was for Yoda. So nothing wrong with the play that we just saw. Really just they're winning their frags, right? They're winning their gunfights, and that's going to allow them to just bring that into the win. So we say it sometimes, it's kind of cringy, but this is an FPS at the end of the day, right? All the strats and strategies are great, and we can talk about them, and they make the game more engaging and more fun. But if you can't win your gunfights, it's not going to do you a lot of good, even if you have the perfect strat. You have to capitalize. Now, that is also a site that some defensive have a hard time with, and that's why it was their third site. So Bryant, they're not probably feeling too bad, but they can't let too many more slip here. They are not on map point yet. They're only up by 1 now.
Yeah, they're going to be feeling a lot more comfortable up here in Aviator Games. I mean, it's a nice, comfy site to be in. There's a lot to work with for the defenders. The attackers have brought the sledge this round. Once again, with this attacker repick, we're seeing a lot of frag grenades right off the bat because you're able to pick operators that have a little more leeway in your utility. You don't need to bring one-size-fits-all lineup, which means that sometimes, well, if you don't need something, you can just switch to a character that's going to bring some nades. I mean, like, if nothing else, get a good gun, get some nades, and that's what Fink, Sledge, Maverick, Sophia, those always bring explosives and good guns. But the defenders have been running this Ella, which is always a little bit surprising to see, but it's already worked out pretty well for Semi on the roam.
Getting that kill worked in tandem. The refrag was there too. We saw a peek from the smoke Soviet on the roam. A strange operator to have on a roam, right? You usually want them in sight to help with the denial, but we've seen it from time to time. C4 is going to come out and a double kill. So Nacho and OK Sure done and dusted. That was a nice nitro. Now it's all up to DK and Yoda. We've seen them clutch before, but that was on the defense. Now on attack, a 2v5. This is looking real rough for them. If they can't clutch it, it will be putting them into map points. It's going to put them in an uncomfortable situation. Peak coming up from Semi is almost punished. A lot of damage done, but not quite finished off. They know the position of these two players. The nade's going to come through. It doesn't actually net anything except for the shield. The peak coming out is not going to get anyone a kill in that engagement. On the other side of the wall, they're now going to be a little bit more aware of a player's position. All these different angles are going to be opened up from below, from behind, from in front. It doesn't matter. Semi and TSS clean it up for a flawless round. Bryant move on to map point.
Let's talk about that C4. That's beautiful from TSS. With the smoke going down, he lined it up perfectly to land right in the doorway. He knew already where the attackers were, and that was so big. I love that position, playing a little bit more aggressive of the shield position on Classical. You don't always see them up there. It's sometimes because the window adds a lot of pressure. So if someone goes up on a rappel on the window, you kind of have to fall back immediately. There's no more defending that shield, but it's a little bit of a gambit with your utility that allows you to play really aggressively like that and take those peaks. And that's what he's bringing the TCS G12 for as well. Allows him to take a little bit more long range and sorts of evens the odds against players that get assault rifles on the attack. So playing that really forward position has netted so much already for Bryant's defense.
One more. That's all they need. And they can move on to Oregon, I believe, as the next map. uOttawa on attack. They've gotten one, but they've let 3 now slip from their grasp. And last round was showing us a little taste of their own medicine used against them. We saw them with the heavy roam. Now we see Bryant bring it out, and it nets them around. A flawless one, in fact. So we're going to have to be aware. What are they going to do? Can they push sight? Like we saw the adjustment from Bryant on their last round of defense that netted them that round and saved them from going into a deficit in the half. I'm not sure. uOttawa, they have to think about how do they want to play it. They have that advantage right now of switching out anyone they'd like to. It's a little late now. I think within the last 3 seconds, we see that red come in. You can't switch out anymore on attack. So they were locked in at that point. Something to be aware of as well. But either way, they are all going to push in together here and see what they can do.
Trophy has not treated Bryant as well. This is the only site that they haven't managed to win on yet of the 3 that they have gone. Ooh, but they're going to start it off pretty well here. Skippy having a bit of a drought on kills, hitting 10 before anyone else, but staying there for a few rounds in a row. Just to start this one off with the kills, peeking out the window. And that might speak towards an even more successful round as he tries to sprint this one out, the final round that he needs.
Yeah, uOttawa has been rough on this site. They lost 2 times on defense and then won once, and then now they've lost on this site, actually, on attacks. They lost it last time in that rush, remember, last 1v1, but then the time elapsed. So, unfortunate for them. They're going to see if they can turn the tides, but like you said, Skippy, opening kill. Tommy as well, your big gunner down in the dirt. It's not where you want him to be when you're in a precarious situation like this. It's not where you want to be. You're in a 4v5, your top gunner is dead, and this is map point. So what can they do? They have to start clearing out some of this roamers, getting some map control, at least having some eyes on the site soon, because we're already halfway through the round.
Yeah, it was a very heavy roam, and uOttawa just hasn't pushed against the roam so much. So already the time has been wasted, and the rest of the roamers have retreated back to site. We saw once again Soviet roaming on the smoke with the FMG9 available, but we also just got to see him go right back to site, set up that shield, and pitch a tent. And that's all he's got to do from here. He's got 30 seconds of the clock sitting right in his pocket, as well as time ticks down on its own. The flank is going to be locked up a little bit, so Skippy's going to have a harder time finding the same mileage that he would otherwise without that gridlock covering it up. That's going to be the replacement for a Nomad taking up the same situation. They're going to know if he tries to come up the stairs. He's going to have to be loud shooting out all of those track stingers. Okay, sure, you're trying to push up and find a first pick into sight, but it's just not going to happen with those smokes. Like I said, they're going to slow down the attack so much and take away this last little push that they have with less than 50 seconds remaining.
So uOttawa, yet again, time is hurting them. They have no eyes into sight. They're just now rotating to get into the window. And Nacho is going to get a kill onto Skippy. So that's actually really good. That's one of the roamers cleared out. That's a 4v4 now. But still, again, 30 seconds only remaining on the clock. This is map point. They have to get this if they want to stay alive on Villa. We're going to see Nacho and that have already pushed over. We saw them get onto the windows of the master bedroom. So pushing in, though, they didn't drone out TSS. DK, though, instant refrag. They're staying alive here. 3v3, though. They have to get something going here. Semi playing really close on that breach. Could net them something or could get punished for this position. They're going to push in. He gets one. That's going to be the first push in, but he gets refragged by Nacho. 2v2. Time elapsing. Plant starting to go down. Can Snakes and that get the kill? We see DK trying to cover, but can they fully get it done? No! They missed the shots. The Snakes gets the planter. That's going to be the map done. Villa won by Bryant 7-4.
That last round is unfortunate to say. It looked like Skippy just scared uOttawa out of playing the site. They moved up from south side. They spent so long just trying to lock him down. They were scared of that. KD scared him finally coming back online, and he didn't even have to. Didn't need to get another kill because they wasted all their time out there. That last rotation was just a last-ditch effort to try and find an opening into sight, and it just wasn't there with 45 seconds left. So like you said, Bryant does take this first map, but uOttawa showing us a lot more in the tank than we expected off the first couple rounds. So I'm enthused to see what else we can get. And we're going to be back after a little break, and we're going to Oregon for the next one.
See you soon. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to NECC. I am Wealku. I am joined by my good friend Treasury. How you doing, Tresh? How'd that first one treat you?
Ooh, that was exciting there. I was hoping for that comeback from uOttawa, I must say, especially after those first 4 rounds where they kind of turned everything on its head. That was a nice little bit, but Bryant does come out with the victory in that first map, and we'll see if uOttawa can turn it around once again on our map too. We were Villa before, and now we're heading to Oregon. And as a reminder, we'll head to Cafe as well if uOttawa does win this one. What do you think about how this one will turn out, especially in light of this new attacker repick, which has really, been rattling our brains?
Well, I mean, what we saw was an even split on the first half, which showed us that both teams had a decent, on one side, Bryant had a decent attack, and on the other side, they had decent defense in uOttawa. But then the switch happened, and Bryant was way outclassing the team on defense. And I don't mean to sound like it was like way, but it was enough of a deficit that it was a 7-4 win, versus a 3-3 split on the first half. So that just tells you that they either really played really well on defense on Bryant's side or uOttawa, which we saw. It's not like they were terrible on attack or anything, but just the time allocation was just too much time being spent moving around and not attacking onto site. That's the real criticism I had for them. They're on attack here to start off, so they are going to have to kind of fix that right away. And hopefully they realize that. They've had 5 minutes or so in the break between the maps to talk about it, try and fix what was going wrong. And here they're going to have to show us that they were able to do that. Thatcher being the first ban, not surprising. I think we're going to see some standard bans here.
Yeah, it is still Oregon. I mean, again, no one really knows how much this attacker repick is going to change things. So reverting back to what we've been doing all season is mostly going to be the move for just about anyone. So we do see the Thatcher Jackal bans once again, which are always just going to be strong operators on Villa and Oregon, respectively. So that makes quite a bit of sense. Mieta goes away again as well, and she's probably stronger here on this map.
True enough. She can be effective on every bomb site virtually. And that's not always the case. On this map, I think you could say that. Now here, the Wealku will be the ban instead of Clash for the final one, which is a little more standard. Obviously, Clash can be banned once in a while. But we'll see. We'll even see play here. I don't know. Was that a pick that the team that had banned it, did they see the other team had brought them before? I don't know what the reasoning was. But here it is available. So we'll see if that Clash will come out now that it's not banned. But either way, that takes the Velt cams out. There was the change with her too. Can't throw the cams outside anymore. They will not last very long before they are out of commission. So seeing her banned, honestly, some people argue that it might be a buff now that you'd have to keep them inside. Some people throw them outside and they don't do a lot for the team too. So it might actually be better to keep them inside.
That definitely sounds like a buff to my ranked stacks. I don't have to deal with the teammates just wasting Valkyries. But not something that's really going to be happening with these teams nearly at the same amount at the very least. The Valkyrie was played pretty heavily by uOttawa on their defensive half, so it makes sense that Bryant's going to be removing her from the options available. I mean, always a strong operator, and this will mean that they don't really need to be taking a Nook as often. There's probably going to be less cams on the defender side. They're on their own defender side right now, though, and they've got a pretty balanced lineup here. Everyone just bringing a character that's going to add pretty guaranteed value, except for, once again, the Ella, which is just a little bit of an off pick that can still grab quite a bit of value. She's got the FO12 and a shield, which means that she can choose somewhere and just lock it down if it's got all close angles.
Skippy being aggressive, we saw them get a lot of kills last map. And they were on the roam too, so it's not surprising to see them over here. But no one is going to feed into that, as I don't believe anyone has actually spawned over there. In fact, you see Tommy already getting on the window of Big Tower, so they are going real quickly. This might be what we were talking about, just trying to utilize time a little more wisely. They're already going straight onto the main breaching points, going towards the bedroom and going towards Big Tower. We see Skippy's actually going to be the one who's aware of this and actually starting to push over. We'll see if there's an engagement here. But the other thing I want to point out, though, is that on the defense, they're going to be able to have a lot of barbed wire, apparently, because they brought that instead of a C4 on the bandit. I just want to point that out because it is a bit odd, especially because you have Malusis. So I feel like that might not be the play, but Snake's going to get shot down, and they weren't aware that the wall was opened up slightly to have some peeking lines available. As you can see, Tommy, this is a classic thing. You open up a line, and then someone plays on stairs. It just has that slight pixel peek towards the back side of Attic, and well, they're going to have to help their teammate up. They didn't get the kill, unfortunately, on the side of uOttawa, but it's a lot of damage done at least.
Skippy still hasn't pounced even with the intel that there is that hole being used to shoot out from Big Tower. Nacho also pinching up another angle. Master Bedroom is going to be a little more of an X factor because uOttawa not pushing over there, doesn't have the intel to work with. So this could be potentially deadly for either side. Whoever pushes up first up there by Armory while the main push happens through Attic. Okay, sure. Also downstairs looking to pinch up if any flank happens.
Sitting on the classroom window, but Skippy isn't falling prey to it just yet, at least. Semi playing a dangerous position of trophy. It's not always an easy position to play, but they haven't cleared it out yet. We do see Attic's kind of given up now. They've backed off, so Tommy and that are just going to take it. Yoda and Tommy pushing together. This could be exactly what they need. They have the sight control somewhat, as these angles are going to allow them, and that is ADS eating that up. Unfortunate, but okay, sure, we'll get that kill into Semi. So that's the player playing in the dangerous position of trophy, like I had mentioned, and opening kill going for uOttawa.
Well, Skippy immediately evens that out, taking out Yoda, and now the Master Bedroom has been fully taken for the attackers with the jammer taken off of the wall as well. Means that DKMD can open it up and fully secure their openings into Games Room, and this is going to push Bryant into the back corner. They're going to be using both of the dorms rooms as well as White Stairs, but they do still have one more player. They've got plenty of numbers still, even at this point, and TSS can be just watching for that vault hole to really shut down a plant opportunity. Soviet does find one on Oki, sure, though, across the objective. That's the advantage of bringing up 5K instead of a shotgun here.
Well, the quick push did work out. Tommy in a 1v3 here, essentially, as he had a teammate down, but actually the other teammate helped him up, so I thought that was going to be bad. But there's the diffuser down. They're not going to have time. Perfect peek out from Snakes. Yes, the refrag came through, but did the job. Got the round one. Bryant winning the first round of defense here in Oregon.
What was Planter killed right there?
Yep.
Oh, okay. That would explain that. I wasn't sure if he got off of it. He was at a little precarious position. His teammate almost in that last kill to keep him safe for just a moment more. But it is Bryant that gets the round here. They're starting off strong off the back of their first map victory.
Well, the alibi being brought to the lineup and a Chanka. So some operators we haven't seen brought yet, but downstairs is a site that you can argue this is good. Shotgun pistol on the ally can help you make some of those head height holes, brings a shield as well. And then there's some common places where people will pre-fire you, so putting an ally clone there would allow you to get some pings. And then on top of it, the Tachanka, I've seen some arguments while they're able to bring those fire grenades, they can bounce them off of doorways instead of a smoke. You can't bounce them. You have to get a direct line of sight. So that is more dangerous. So the Tachanka is going to be able to play angles a little bit better, not reveal their head as easily as a smoke might in plant situations. So I can understand why some teams might opt to bring that Tachanka. He also has a shield available, just like the smoke. So you're not really losing anything.
Yeah, and you do gain a primary that can make rotates and keep a long range pressure. It's got a much lower fire rate though, so it's a give and take as far as using that gun for gunfights either way. A lot of operators still staying in the basement. Only Semi is really upstairs roaming much at all. The attackers look like they're going to be pushing down by Freezer and Laundry as opposed to Blue Bunker, which is where that Chachanka we were talking about is really playing for.
No, Iana being brought the first time, I think, in this matchup, which is surprising because she's really good. Nades, Gone 6, really powerful gun on top of a bunch of dronings that you can do. There's going to be the peek out, but Tommy punishes it. Semi trying to shoot the Iana clone, baited him out. He didn't even shoot the clone, though, so some missed shots and gets punished. That's the opening kill going for uOttawa. So they're doing well this time a lot earlier in the round as well. Instead of last time where they downed a player, didn't get the kill, this time they can actually finish it off. So that's going to allow them to at least make sure that body doesn't come back to haunt them later in the round like they might have last time. And actually, it was the Snakes on the Jaeger who haunted them last time. We got that kill on the planter and stopped the round. So it's kind of ironic.
uOttawa is really aware that they were losing a lot of time on their attacking halves. At moments here, though, it looks like they might be a little bit hasty pushing up. So far, they haven't suffered any losses, but this Freezer push is definitely quite a bit ahead of any other teammates that they have that could be pushing up. So they're not working with any cross angles right now. If they push up little ahead of their teammates here, they might just be taking more 50-50 gunfights, which are usually going Bryant's way in this matchup. So they have to find their time and keep coordinated with their teammates. Nacho now does have his line of sight down Laundry, so with some intel between the two of them, they're actually going to start pinching out the players in Laundry itself.
Well, see, Nacho has started pushing on launcher, like you said. The kill from Soviet, though, he was on that roam and then the flank, and that is the kill on the DK going to be opened up. That's diffuser down as well, actually. So that's going to stall a little bit more time. Some damage done to Tachanka from OK, sure. That's why that gun is so good. Just a couple bullets, and you're already down to a third of your HP. That's just how strong it can be. Yoda being distracted by that C4. They're not sure what to do here. Time being bought, but the diffuser was grabbed, actually, so they're already going to be going down below. This execute can still happen for the attackers, but unfortunately, something I'm noticing is there are 3 people stacking up at freezer. Only the planter is going through laundry. That could actually cause them some problems here if they're not careful. But the swing coming out from the Yana clone is going to be netting another kill. That's Tommy getting a kill onto TSS. Tommy finding snakes. It's a triple on the round. Might go for the ace here. Has to start pushing in. The plant hasn't come down yet. They're down to 30 seconds. The grenade is going to sing through and net the kill. Tommy actually getting the quad. Does find the body before the grenades do. Now it's all going to be up to Soviet on that roam flank. They got 1. They need to find at least 3 more here if they want to win. But OK, sure, steals the ace. Gets the kill on the Soviet. And a bounce back immediately coming from uOttawa.
That was exactly the patience I was hoping for from the freezer push. They did have to stack up some players there for quite a little bit of time, though, and you can credit that to the roam. I think that was that Soviet coming upstairs and using the C4 to open up by diffuser, trying to hold it down for a little bit longer. That roam was what really ticked down the time and gave the defense a chance to spite that really effective pinch and patience from the attackers.
Yeah, and it's a tough situation to be in when you get that kill. You get the diffuser down, and then you're still on the roam, and then everyone in sight dies. Like, there's not much you're going to be able to do there for Soviets. So they're in they did everything they could, but they're in a hard spot between a rock and a hard place, I suppose, what they say. We're going to see a little bit of a change in the lineup. The Legions are going to give more sound cues and slow down that immediate push that we had seen coming through from the attackers. They're a lot better with their time management, something I criticized them last map of. Well, now they are trying to correct that. And that's around early here. A 1-1 now apiece. Going back downstairs, we always question if that's a wise decision. But Bryant, again, did change things up. They can stop some of the drone work with the Soviet bringing the Mazi. And then, as I had said before, the Legion, those goo mines are going to help slow down the push, give the sound cue of where these attackers are pushing.
Yeah, they are taking away their alibi that they had before. They're trying to bring those clones to do a little bit of bamboozling, but it was actually OK Sure's Yana drones that were the ones really spooking everybody out. I don't think they really got anything out of the alibis either. So getting some more guaranteed, or at least easier to guarantee utility in the intel game, and an equally good gun, really. Semi still playing pretty aggressively. So maybe not playing to keep as many of those mines out, but to make sure that they don't get into freezer like last time where the attackers took really early pressure.
That drone didn't even look into the top of freezy stairs there. So if,
I would hope there was a 180 flick right there, right after that over drone. Okay.
That's going to do it. All right. Well, they know the position. They're going to back away. They shot the Yana clone. That's going to make it take longer to come back anyways. That's still some job done, and maybe even shot a drone. I couldn't tell for sure, but one of OK Sure's drones is gone. They got to be careful here, Semi. They're facing some players with an LMG that's going to swing them out, but they get the headshot. They win that gunfight. I thought they were actually going to nade him is what I was worried about. They still could. That's the Yana. She still has 1 nade in hand. She gets a good bounce here, could get that kill. So you got to be careful playing against nades. You know, they've become so strong in the meta these days. But unless you give yourself the wrong angle against it, you will stay alive. And Semi, there, I think that's the nade. And they had lived through it. Or they took a lot of damage, actually, but the nade wasn't used. Interesting. Still, that danger lurking.
Oh, looks like pressure from the hatch. So Semi's actually going to be really stuck right here with eyes coming from the left and right, just trying to waste as much time as possible. And with a minute and a half down, he's already done his job. I mean, he could have been taken out with an earlier grenade or a drone along with the swing. I mean, Tommy did take a 50-50, which I hate to see, especially since he was top fragger for his team and already has the 4K from last round. So it's a shame to lose him for Semi. Semi finally getting fragged out, though, by the attackers. And it looks like a little bit different setup on the freezer reinforcement. Okay, Sure is going to ignore it, though, and go right for Skippy's head, skimming away that man count for the defenders.
Oh, Yoda killing his teammate DK. That's going to hurt you. Now you're in a 3v3 after that TK. Oh, well, 45 seconds do remain, so they do have time to still bring this back. Okay, Sure doing a lot to help with that. Getting the kill on the Soviet. Now it's all up to Snakes and TSS, who have both on those German ops. They're going to be trying to hold out for another 30 seconds. That's all that's remaining. The flash is going to come through. They can at least buy enough for them to start pushing in, getting the plant down, but they're actually just hunting for the kills, it seems. Plant baited out by Yoda, but not quite going down yet. They're going to start sticking it now. These defenders have to start peeking out. Okay, sure. A triple kill on the round. That's going to be a downed onto the planter and another player. 2 kill for Snakes. It's a 1v1 situation, but they go for the prone. Okay, sure is going to clean that up. Oh my, what a unfortunate, maybe a misclick on the button, I don't know, but they were ready for it and they pounced. Okay, sure, doing so much work on that round, giving uOttawa the advantage now.
That's insane to see. Snakes getting a round busting kill right there, a double kill on the planter and the plant watch. And it's amazing to see that okay, sure just didn't have the angle to be protecting his teammates and needing to clutch up for almost his whole team going away just in that little moment, and he barely does still manage to find the Snake, not manage to hide away. And uOttawa does take the forefront for the first time in the matchup. They're ahead by a round.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Well, Mozzie being brought again, and I mean, it didn't do too much. Excuse me, sorry, not Mozzie. I was thinking Mute being brought this time. I like that pick. I like the Mozzie Mute combo, I guess is where my mind was going. It's because I like it when you can really deny the drone work. But the problem has been that Yana clone. So that is something to be aware of, is that Mute will counter that Yana, and they've actually switched over to the Ashe now. So that counter no longer going to do as much, but hey, it still works on the regular drones. So it's going to be denial of information no matter what. Mute is way more powerful than I think people give him credit for. Now you also don't have to waste Mute jammers on the walls with the bandit being in play. So this is a really good utility work coming through on the side of Bryant. The only thing I still wonder about is if TSS with the shotgun Ella is going to really do much. We haven't seen much from it yet.
You see Unnamed Gamers on the sticks here observing for us. He showed us that giant utility stack in Trophy Room. That doorway is going to be almost impossible to get into. There's a shield, there's a Malusi, there's like 2 ADSs, there's a Mute Jammer. That's going to be one heck of a place to try and shoot your way into. But last time uOttawa did primarily focus over here on getting into Attic for the beginning of the round. This time it's going to be a little bit harder to do that same push without Nacho to set up for it on the north side like he did before.
Yeah, at least one air jab got down before they died, but that is an early pick in the favor of Bryant. And something they need, as they have dropped 2 rounds in a row now, I believe. And, well, at least puts them in a comfortable position, but it wasn't necessarily the most important op either, as that is not a hard breacher, so they can still get everything opened up that they need. Obviously, a body is a body, so it hurts, but if you're going to lose someone, you already got an air jab down to help your players in tower, so at least that's probably the most comfortable pick you can accept. You see, Semi's going to be maybe bandit tricking here, though. We don't see too much of that these days.
Yeah, and it's especially hard to pull off against the ace that he's invariably going to be facing up against. So DKMD almost definitely going to be getting off one charge, even if Semi does a godlike job on the bandit trick. He's got the hole below, so you can watch and try and bait out a kill from below, maybe even is the move. I think OK Sure might end up trying to go below and trying to explode those out. It's a little unfortunate for the attackers. Yoda taking a little bit to get over to Attic
again.
But yeah, once again, they've reinforced over it, so they're trying to pay less attention to it. But that has left their shield totally unused. Snake's kind of peeling off and trying to shoot his way or keep eyes towards armory. So that means that giant utility stack that we talked about isn't actually going to do anything for the defenders.
Well, Meatjammer, at least you can see caught one drone in the trophy doorway, so at least it's helping there. But you're right. We do see Tommy then is going to be able to stack up with the player in trophy, so they at least have a little bit of a cross angle here, try and push in through. The main denier is going to be Semi here. That shield actually could pinch them if they try and push through the doorway of trophy, but there it is. Semi getting taken out by Tommy. That LMG doing so much damage. That's going to be an important kill, but Snake's going to get the diffuser down. He's really good at doing that. Okay, sure, and Yoda, though, instantly refragging on him and a teammate. His shotgun Ella comes from behind, gets the kill, and maybe finds another. There it is on to Tommy. The LMG's done. It's down. Now Yoda, in a 1v2 clutch situation, has the diffuser in hand, but 15 seconds remaining. He's not going to be able to do it. Soviet shuts him down. Bryant bring it back to all even.
They opened up that wall into Attic from Trophy. It's a nice little rotate opportunity. Opens up some more angles if you're looking for a flank from Attic. Unfortunately, they lost 3 players trying to walk through it while it was still a live firing range from all the players hidden out in dormitories. That's still a dangerous place to be, so they really needed to stop doing that after the first one, let alone having 2 players stuck in there while TSS came up from behind. 3 speeds with shotguns can be real darn scary, Wes.
Well, the thing I will point out, this is hindsight 2020, of course, always easier to see this, but
Absolutely.
you kill Semi. That's the only one with an angle onto the wall
Attackers need to
leading
locate
into
and
the
defuse
dorms
as many
from
bombs as they
attic.
can.
You know what I'm saying? So they could have mavericked actually into that dorms room potentially, at least open lines of sight. And then if it was clear, opened it up more. They didn't have to get the ace to try and go in there. And maybe that's why they wanted the ace, just to open it up a little more easily than a maverick would have. But without that extra oomph through that doorway or through that wall, which they had reinforced, like you had pointed out in the attic, that made it so they had to kind of do a one-dimensional push. They're really still those 2 doorways are so close to each other, attic and trophy door, that it's really still the same direction. So the defenders are able to just feed off of that. Obviously, a flank coming in from TSS with Shotgun Ella is what really saved the day, but it's something else to keep in mind. You're all going to push them through similar doorways. It's just from one angle that the defenders have to watch.
Yeah, that really had to be either. I mean, with Semi gone, no more bandit tricking was going to happen, so master bedroom could be opened up, or just like you said, just opening up right into kids' dormitories would have also opened up that second avenue. They just needed something else because it was just people shuffling between 2 doorways that were right next to each other. So it came down to time, though. I know that they realized that they only had like 20 seconds left, and that hard breaching, especially with Maverick, was just going to take too long to probably be useful. And I think that might come down to that beginning of the round where it just took a little bit for everyone to get to their positions to start out the droning or to end the droning and get into the first push into the building. This time, I think they'll be trying to get back to that speed on the attack that's really given them the advantage, especially on this objective downstairs where they have not lost the attack yet. That's both of uOttawa's rounds.
That's true. This is their site on attack in a weird way, right? It's almost always the defender's site. You're so used to that in Siege. It used to be so defender-sided. And the most recent meta with all the guns ablazing on attack, Tommy getting skippy. There it is, the opening kill again going for uOttawa. This is what we're talking about. They're able to just capitalize. It's no longer going to be really the defensive-sided map that we're so used to in Siege, especially if you can switch off and change up what lineups you want to bring in attack. That's the interesting part of this new change. Like, can we see an attacker-sided game in general? Most maps now maybe move in that direction with this change. We will see, and maybe it just takes some adjusting for defenses too. Siege is a complex game, so you can never really put your finger on it until you're a little further into a season. But this is certainly one of the biggest changes we've ever seen. So we'll stay tuned with some more statistics on that. But man advantage for uOttawa. They're starting to get things opened up. They're going to be trying to push down backstairs, and blue, it looks like, is the main push. They've always gone for that front-sided push, which netted them 2 rounds. I'm concerned, though, that switching it up and going for a different push is actually going to hurt them.
They have diversified their portfolio, as it would be. They've got 2 players out in blue. They've opened up the hatch into E-Box, and they have a player out on Big Tower Stairs as well. So they do have quite a few angles already. That's going to make it hard for them to just get caught out like they did last round. So that's a great improvement even over last round, and especially with that first kill, and it's Skippy no less, one of the hardest to track down on the defenders. But that pulse is a little bit of an excitement there. Keeping eyes from Freezer. If they try anything like they did the first 2 rounds attacking this site, and they're going to get caught out. Here comes, the reinforced comes out for TSS. Okay, sure, not quite getting there in time, taking out that shield, but it does mean that they have the opportunity to start some hard breaching now and get, eyes directly into Stockroom. They're going to take out their own Nacho, though, and with Yoda and okay, sure, going down, Tommy's going to have 1 to say in exchange, but with only 5 seconds left, the timer has just killed the attack.
Oh man, Semi and Soviet cleaning up the last 2. We saw the push into blue netting 2 there. I couldn't quite tell who was on the Legion before, but they are the one who gets the double kills. That kind of puts the dagger in that round for them. Unfortunately, that's Semi. So they actually got 3 kills, I think, on that round in total. Really good job from locking down the tarp's doorway and then just not letting them push through blue. And then the reinforcement on that wall, as you mentioned, was really well timed. And then time elapsed so far. uOttawa had some fast attacks. They get 2 wins off those fast attacks. But then the last couple of rounds here, It's been time hurting them again, just like we saw in map 1. So things are coming back, they're kind of unraveling back until they're
Defenders,
past
protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
rhythm, I suppose you could call it. Hopefully they can get another round here to get an even split before they go to their defense. But it is a weird bomb site we haven't seen yet. This is kitchen dining.
Yeah, this is one that I expect to see a lot earlier, especially like last round instead of going a third round to basement after losing 2 in a row. But obviously, Bryant found what they needed there. I mean, they had all the preparations for the same push that uOttawa showed before. uOttawa, of course, was also that step ahead, and they tried something else. But it felt like 2 minutes of that round was just a time skip. I feel like we started the round, and then there was 5 seconds left, and everyone was dead suddenly. So that last round, they just maybe we're less familiar with that push. Maybe they've run it a few less times in their dry runs or scrims or anything. So they just spent some more time clearing for roamers that they didn't need to before really focusing on site. But they had they checked all the boxes. They just had a minute less of the clock to work with than they really needed to have.
Fortunately for them, the 2 rounds in a row that they've lost have now netted them a 3rd site. So on attack, it's going to allow them to at least have a little bit of an advantage. Like, this is definitely not nearly as good of a bomb site, right, as the other 2. That's why it's the 3rd site. It's just common knowledge. So that's actually going to be uOttawa's advantage in this round, at least. Yes, it's not great to lose 2 in a row, but now you have a chance to capitalize on a weakness that's probably going to be there on this defense from Bryant. They are not going to be as comfortable here. See, okay, sure, starting to get that entry. Not on the Yana anymore. They're actually going for the sledge. They knew it's the 3rd site. Semi's going to be taken out early. They had a huge impact last round. So that's a good kill. Tommy, yet again, Tommy is so impactful in these opening kills, getting so many in this map especially. That's going to help the team. Hopefully they can carry it into the win here. Otherwise, they're all for naught, really. Well, that's going to put them in a man advantage, and they're getting control of map pretty quickly.
Usually we've been seeing OK Sure actually droning out for Tommy, but now it's OK Sure who's been having a lot of success on this map, being the one drone out for it. He's got a kill already for it up top, and despite there being a heavy roam presence, uOttawa has been doing a really nice job of drawing out everything that they need to. There's 2 more up here, though, with the reinforced hatch. Snakes is playing to die. He's going to take out 2 drones here, and Tommy is the one that is going to finally find the second one. Actually, I guess I misspoke about OK Sure getting that kill earlier. He's going to die here without one as Soviet comes up those white stairs. The last spot that didn't actually get any intel for the attackers. They're going to start using all that soft destruction they have. Losing the sledge at this particular junction, not optimal. He would have opened up just about everything, but they've got plenty to still be working with between Tommy and I guess just Tommy at this rate.
Yeah, DK gonna push down into meeting and catch someone unawares from behind. That's gonna be, I think, Skippy on the orcs there. Couldn't quite tell who that was, or is that Snakes? Either way, it's a dead player and an extra man advantage now for you. uOttawa in a 4v2. Time is ticking down, but they're also going to get a down and kill onto TSS. That's only going to help them further. Now it's all on the back of Soviet. Hardbridge going to come through. They're going to be able to get in the site. Soviet's not near site either. They have to push through this security room or somewhere else. And the drone might have just saw them. I'm not aware if it did or not. Could actually get a massive flank here, though. And that's going to be the diffuser down. That's exactly what they need. There's a cam. They're feeding information. Are they going to push into him? He's going to get swung out. He finishes the kill that he had gotten the down onto. That is not going to be quite enough. It's going to be a C4 catching the plant somehow. Wow, a triple kill coming out now. Trying to salvage the round. Nacho going to start planting. Tommy's on the coverage. It's a 1v1 essentially on the back of Soviet. Plant coming through. It could go to fruition. He's going to see it in the right corner, but no, it doesn't turn. Nacho off of the plant. Finishes the round. uOttawa get that even split.
The scope just barely not showing him where Nacho is for that one little second. uOttawa really dominant that round, playing vertically so well, just losing out on their soft breaching. But Soviets, holy heck, that 3K almost another one. He saw the last player that he didn't actually get to shoot at there, and just barely missed an opportunity to retake once again. That was another phenomenal play from him. uOttawa bringing the pace back, finding us that really blitzing attack rounds that has given them those 3 rounds that they have here. Now it's Bryant's attack turn now, though, so they're going to turn things on their head. We'll see how they approach this.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
And the sad thing about that for Soviet is, had they pushed up slightly earlier, that player was planting until the almost dead second they had just pushed and got the swing. And they had enough time to push up, and Tommy didn't have the right angle had they gone on the left side like they did at the end there, the left side of that bar area in the kitchen. That would have allowed them actually to get the kill on the planter, I think, and they could have won right there on time. That would have been impressive. But unfortunately, these things are a matter of inches, a matter of seconds, and that's just what it comes down to. A split half, though, uOttawa probably feeling pretty good. Now they get to try their hand at defense. It's a defense in the basement, which we saw Bryant actually had struggled with. uOttawa probably feeling a little more confident, though, in their setup.
It's interesting to see two maps back to back going half and half on the first half, 3-3 for the second time in a row with this matchup. Really fascinating here, and they do approach their defenses and attacks quite differently. You can see even just from these lineups, we got a Frost and a Maestro in the basement, which we hadn't seen hide nor tail of, and the attack from Bryant brings us a lot of drone operators.
Frost is going to be brought. You saw the Frost mat to the side. Hopefully they'll see that. That was, I don't know what just happened there. They lost one of those Twitch drones pretty easily. That is unfortunate utility going to go down in the dumps. We have the Flores, though, could help clear out the shield potentially here. There is no Mozzie or Mute to stop him, so they're going to just have to shoot him out if they don't want him to have an impact. Okay, sure, is going to be on the Roman Z hallway, so that's something else for these attackers to be aware of. See, Soviet's going to be the one over near Small Tower, kind of doing maybe a solo push over here. It's always a dangerous game if someone isn't going to drone with them, because they could be out on an island by themselves and caught out.
Yeah, OK Sherp actually peeled off there after seeing a drone. I'm quite sure that missed him, though. So he's still an unknown quantity out here, waiting for an opportunity for someone to push up against him, especially that lone pusher Soviet who could get caught out. Downstairs, the Rateros have done their job, taking out the shields and protection otherwise being afforded to the bunker players. So they're having to seal that up and just peel on off. Yoda now watching another angle out by electrical box instead, while that side of the map is still heavily in the defender's favor, while the attackers are struggling to find at any point of ingress really to the map, let alone sight.
Yeah, Semi seems like they might have a bead on it. Yep, and does give the call out, but the missed shots. Okay, sure, going down at a lower angle, gets the headshot on to Snakes to open things up. Again, uOttawa so good at getting these opening kills on this map in particular. Soviet going to bounce the nade to make sure that player has to back away. The Evil Eye is going to be feeding information of TSS's position here on the big tower stairs. That's going to be something that they need to clear out. They could use a Flores drone, but again, time is not favoring them. You know, you said that earlier they are stalling out a bit. The hatch finally going to be opened up above in the meeting area. Semi actually has a push down laundry. This could be exactly what they need. A little bit of a surprise from behind, but he's going to lose the gunfight. Tommy coming out on top. Huge impacts in these early parts of the round, but here it's late. 30 seconds remaining. It's a 3v5. They have to push in, and the information is going to be fed by that Evil Eye. That's going to be a kill from Soviet to try and bring things back. Skippy finding a player in Freezer. Now it's a 2v3. This is somewhat doable, but with 15 seconds remaining, it's a lot to ask for. Yoda holding a cross angle, but Skippy finding another one. He's going to swing and get the other kill. 1v1. Skippy has 3 kills on this round, but they have to get the last, and they do! The quad from Skippy, salvaging the round for Bryant.
Well, I'm going to be a little harsh here. I don't think Bryant deserved that round. Skippy deserved that round. He did so much work on his own. I don't know why they didn't get the hard breach over there. They couldn't open a bunker, even with the Rateros doing their full job. There just wasn't the coordination on that attacking round, which is so strange because we haven't seen a lack of coordination really be a problem for Bryant at all tonight. So there was just a couple things that didn't quite line up. That freezer push where they didn't peek together, and of course bunker like that. I'm stuck on that one. Everything has been cleared in E-box and bunker with Skippy alone and TSS outside by the time we're getting to like 45 seconds. And why has the hard breach just not happened there?
Yeah, we look like we have a pause. We had a crash a little bit, so
a little bit of a crash.
Yeah, it happens.
Just a scope.
I think it was a Soviet who actually is the one missing here, so we have to wait for them to be able to get back in the game. Hopefully it's not a full rehost, and they're actually back now, so perfect. We don't have to go to our faces and scare the audience. We get to continue watching the game.
We should try like jump scaring next time.
Yeah.
Really, really spook the audience. Do like a surprise symphony kind of deal. If you're falling asleep watching the cast, gotcha.
My teacher friend, because I teach. He has no. This sounds like kind of scary, but he would hit a kid with it.
Teacher job. You do a little bit of teaching.
Oh yeah. Just like we're trying to educate the viewers on these strats. Just gotta inform people. No, I was gonna say he likes when kids are like sleeping in class with their head down on the desk. He'll come up and just like take a bat. And this sounds terrible, so don't worry. It's not violent. It's not violent. But all he does is kind of lightly tap the table and just make it vibrate, and it scares the crap out of these kids. It's really kind of funny. He says he hasn't had to do it yet, but I'm hoping to hear a story about it.
Oh man, in my high school Spanish class, it was like right after lunch, and some days it would just get me. And that teacher, she would always just quiet down when she knows someone was sleeping in class and kind of creep over and like get everyone's attention, so you wake up and everyone's staring at you. The worst way to wake up from sleeping in class.
All eyes on you. All eyes on uOttawa here, as they have now, after having a pretty good first half, they've let a round slip. They are going back downstairs, which makes sense. It was really close. It should have been theirs. You're right. They gave up the ones. Not to be mean to them again, it is what it is. You gave up the ones, you lost the round. That was 4-2, 3-2 at different points. But then the plant was going down too, and you still just couldn't hang on to the time. It was elapsing for the other side. Now, OK, sure, it's very aggressive here, and it's working out because, they didn't get a kill, but they just took care of some drones, which is actually really important. Look there's already a decent amount of drones shot, at least 4 the attacker drones out of the 10. Out.
That's so much.
There is still twitch drones, though. Gotta keep that in mind.
Yes, they do get a bonus 2 of them. So it's actually coming out, I guess, when it comes down to that, about even on a normal lineup. But they don't want to be losing any of those drones. And Bryant does use them quite well to be watching up on that flank. So those are definitely real losses, especially Skippy's there. I mean, he's been entering in a lot of situations, but not being able to set up any on the flank, and his Roteros aren't going to stick around for any length of time. They're going to do a little bit of self-destructing. But you said that aggression from OK, sure, it's panned out so well for him, and usually I'm super against players getting really aggressive and putting themselves outside of like a usable place for the rest of their team, but he's been playing so well off on these roams, still making sure to stay plenty safe. This time he does get killed off by Semi, but he's wasted quite a bit of time, and even you can see it by how far Semi had to be away from any point towards site. He's so far away from stairs.
I love how they're playing this. One player's pushing, making sound, and then another player's coming from another angle and just finding them. Cross angles. You saw upstairs they had cross angles. Someone was pushing in near the shower corridor there, and they were going to be able to get the pinch onto that Jaeger. Maverick just got the pick and kill, but there's another kill from them. Another grenade kill coming through. Soviet finding DK. It is all up to Yoda. They get the down, but it's not a kill. This could still be a flawless, technically speaking, and it is. Snakes getting the headshot into Yoda. Going back there was a mistake. They read into it perfectly, getting those kills needed, and they get another round. That's 2 in a row for Bryant, starting on attack pretty hot.
I love that. I go in a little bit harsh because that round just wasn't what I think we could see from Bryant, and they showed us exactly what they could bring. So much better coordinated between the teammates. I mean, you can see the comms going out, just like you said, 2 players playing so tightly with each other and making sure that all of their resources are actually properly allocated to where they're supposed to be. That's what you want from an attacking round on basement right there. This time they have to attack second floor, though, and uOttawa, unfortunately, they have to face the reality that even though first round was so close, they have lost 2 rounds on basement in a row here, and they're not interested in running it back like Bryant was. And second floor isn't a bad site at all, so it's not going to hurt to go up here.
No, it's really, you saw them go below, but you saw Bryant had actually started up here. So different teams will have a preference between the basement or up here in dorms, and really kind of even between the 2 sites. There's different advantages that you have in each of them. The flanking of the basement is pretty good. On here, you can flank, but it just doesn't seem quite as viable. But then there's also no vertical holes from the basement. But up here, the nice thing is that there's a lot of good short angles for the defenders to be able to quick peek and then C4 both the default planting positions pretty easily. So this, again, just different advantages. Both are pretty defender-sided overall. Again, with these changes to the game, who knows how long things will really stay defender-sided at all. But We have seen a really good game coming out from both sides on their attack, but uOttawa has to show us that the defense that they had shown us in that round that they let slip wasn't just a fluke. They can bring it back.
Okay, sure, playing even more aggressive this time. Even he's watching these windows to look for these very first shots to go his way. No one's quite poked him yet, and I think he's going to give away his location moderately as he tries to shoot out the first drone to come through the door. He does have some more support upstairs, though, or downstairs on first floor, so someone else could come and find refrags in a little bit after he goes down if he does.
Tommy also roaming below in the kitchen area. We see the Maverick going to be opening up the holes in the floor like we had seen before. Nothing surprising there. Although they're not doing that line, so we're not going to see someone holding an angle down from the stairs all the way towards where Yoda is playing. But there's that shield there too. Could be helping them out. See, the OSA being brought was utilized by Bryant last time pretty well on the Astro window on Villa. Here we're trying to play on the main window into the game room, so something to watch, see how that unfolds. That could be a nice overwatch angle for them trying to get the plant down, but they have to get into sight to pair it with that. So we do see Ace doing the job though, so with that Maverick and tower, and now the Ace getting the main wall, closet of bedroom, that is going to be both the avenues that you expect to be opened up. And look, Soviet on the double window, in fact, so they are just getting everything opened up so that they don't know where they're going to come from.
Attic is taking a little bit long here to get some pressure. Yoda has done a lot for his team in the dying moments of rounds, but this one he doesn't have to wait nearly as long to find Semi, so there's not going to be any more Maverick around for any last minute adjustments to some walls if the attackers need it. But they do have Master Bedroom open, like you said, and they're feeling pretty confident out on this side by Master. They just need to find another pick to actually get into objective proper.
Nacho holding a really close angle here, but the peek's going to come through, and they actually decide it's better to back off. We'll see what they can do here. Yoda, now with that Maverick dead, they don't have to worry so much on this side. The Smokes Babe's going to come through and try and choke him off in that trophy area. Time is stalling out here. You saw the peek coming through. Snake's aware of that position of the player, not able to do much about it. Things are definitely stalling up, but the cross angles are starting to open up. A nice shot from Skippy as well on the Tommy. Now DK and the Alda trying to stop the push in, but they actually were able to managing to jump in on the double window. Now TSS getting a kill on the Yoda in the attic area is spelling disaster. These defenders are letting it slip a little bit. Oh shit. Okay, sure, dead too. DK and the Alda has to make this happen. The plant coming through. They're going to get one near the dorm, but they're going to instantly get refragged by Skippy. And Bryant now 3 attacking rounds in a row, putting themselves on to map and match point.
Well, this is once again a little similar to the last map we saw, but this time uOttawa's having an even harder time finding their say in the second half. These perfect rotate, or not quite it's not quite a perfect rotation, I guess, since it's all on attack. We've been basement twice, but that is the full quarter all the way in Bryant's favor. uOttawa straggling behind at this rate as they try to defend upstairs once again. On last round, DKMD left all alone after Bryant seemed to start stalling out in the mid round, but they found frag galore.
Attackers need to locate and
indeed, just guns a-blazing in that round, and it wasn't just one person, really. It was everyone holding different angles. The white stairs push being worked in tandem.
I think
with
that's what
peaks.
really opened everything up.
It really did, and but just even the peaks coming from Trophy, the jumping wasn't stopped by the Elda carrying Maestro. Somehow, I'm honestly just baffled by how that happened. Maybe a flash should stop him. I'm not trying to blame that player, but it is really rare for a player to be able to jump into the double window like the Hibana did it without getting punished. So just a really sneaky little move from them, and that's going to allow all those angles that we had mentioned. They capitalize on every single one and more. Didn't even think about the white stairs. We didn't mention it before it happened, but again, they're just using every angle to their advantage. uOttawa were left swarming, and now map and match point for the rest of this. They have to get 3 in a row to even bring it to overtime. It's a lot of pressure for them. We'll see how they handle it.
Yeah, they are trying to usurp Bryant, who have that 3-0 record. Bryant's really looking to cement. Is it possible? Wait, shoot. I'm not totally sure if someone else could be tied with them right now on 3-0, but I think the 4-0 will cement them as the top team in their division, which could be very big for them. That's going to, I mean, they're already a team to beat. They've got that mark on their back. And uOttawa, despite coming into this a little bit later into the season and sort of inheriting a rough to start with, I think he's just spinning.
Turned up the DPI on the mouse.
Sometimes you just gotta spin the pain away.
Well, drone work coming through, trying to get some information. We've seen them have some slow starts, and it's punished them early in this matchup. But lately, this drone work is not really costing them too much. They've just been doing their due diligence, and they start getting some things opened up, and the roamers have been ignored or taken care of. Either one. But you see that drone is going to allow them to just have all the information they want. Tommy playing up in Big Tower, though. If they're not aware of his position, this is such a deadly spot they could just destroy them from if he can just stay there without being found out. I do have a bit of a sound glitch, I think, of a spectator bug. So we have like some white noise coming through at us.
I love white noise so much. Listen to it every night when I go to sleep. Not really. I know some people do that. It's not actually as weird as
they must have drawn him out because he dipped out.
Oh yeah. Oh, he dropped all the way down. But that does take away the potential of taking out Semi and whoever else would it be going with him over there to open it up like we've seen in the previous rounds already without too much setup. Attackers going out into master bedroom. They don't find the kill here quite, but Armory is in their possession.
Minute remaining. No bodies found, so no roamers are punished this time. Tommy actually makes it back to site. I think they've decided that they need to hunker down a little bit more. We can't lose people off site and just have them flood on us on the bomb site itself. So more guns you have, the more angles you can hold. And last time that was the name of the game for Bryant, getting so many angles opened up. They're just capitalizing on that and getting all these kills from crossfire. So here is probably the smart move to try and counter it now. Will it actually be successful? That's the question, though. Semi getting that grenade kill on the player that Skippy was just about to push is going to open things up. But still, 30 seconds remaining. Time is favoring these defenders. So even a man down, it could be just enough time for them to win.
It didn't look like the roamers were doing too much, but they have withered away the moments that Bryant have for this attack. And now with all of those angles just being held up, okay, sure, he's going to find Semi, but Skippy is right there for the refrag as the attackers have to continue pushing deeper into sight. So 3v3, Tommy confirms on Sylvia while TSS is just forced to get this plant down. Lynx is the only gun up with only a sliver of health. He goes down, well, but TSS has succeeded in getting that plant down. It's a 1v1 with Nacho. Nacho equipped with a much smaller gun, unfortunately for him. He's got a teammate to rest if he can find the time, but DKMD is unlikely to be able to get into this fight. TSS just looking for those sound cues. It's Nacho who finds it. In the end, he finds a triple kill on the round, no less.
Well, Nacho going to get that defuse. It's going to be it. uOttawa stay alive another round. I guess the question is, do we go to a rehost and try and get the sound back, or do we try and play it out and hope the sound goes back to normal? I think it might after this round. So let's just, no, maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. We could try and stick it out. This is seeming. I think we'll do a rehost here.
Going for the roast.
I think we're gonna do a rehost. The sound. We don't want the audience to have to deal with that for too much longer. So unfortunately, sorry, we're gonna have to have a short break. It's really tense right now. uOttawa, we're not trying to throw their momentum off, but hearing that white noise, no gun sounds, no nade sounds, it's kind of gonna be scuffed if we kept going with that.
Yeah, we don't want to put you guys through that. You already have to listen to our voice if you got that volume on. So some white noise really isn't going to help things much, is it?
Yeah, that was very odd. I've never actually had that bug. It might, new season just came out yesterday, like we said. So, that's probably what it was. It's just some new bug. It happens. It's Siege. We're used to it. We get used to these things.
Yeah, we weather through the sound bugs. But that last round, an interesting one, because we haven't seen Bryant stalling out on attack very much. That was the first one we saw on this map. Well, the first basement attack, they sort of were withering away on time, but Skippy did find the frags to pull them through the end. But where do you think that time was going? I don't know if the audio going staticky really threw me there, but it just looked like they weren't engaging with the defense nearly as much. They weren't getting those same objectives that they had in previous rounds.
I mean, true enough. I mean, where would it be? I'm thinking about it. I think maybe Tommy threw him off. They had to take time to drone him out because he went down to the basement, went back to site. That's a very long rotate that they might have saw him on drone somewhere else. So then they have to try and, so maybe it's just that worry of the flank and they didn't want to get caught unawares from it. But the other thing too is like they didn't get any of those like picks from someone over peaking. And it did happen, once the execute came through. But I think early in the round they kind of relied on that a little too much, and they didn't really get the wall open. You notice, so that they didn't get the normal things they did the round before when they were successful. They didn't have the same kind of success with the utility game. The strategic game didn't work out for them. So I think that's pretty much where things kind of went wrong for Bryant. Now they had a valiant effort, but you saw as well the extra aggression coming out from the player watching the plant. And after the first kill, I felt like it was just a little too aggressive. So maybe pull that back. You have the planter going down. They have to start swinging you while this is going down, by the way. So you don't have to overly peak that. You got one pick. Just, take it and be happy with it. You don't have to keep hunting.
Yeah, you've got an AK. Watching those angles are definitely going to be in your advantage. I mean, TSS still, I guess, yeah, he did. Once it came down to the 1v1, he was peaking a little bit more than he really needed to be. But he's just having to find any calls. And with a couple walls open there, it's just so hard to find the audio up in that room whenever you get to that situation. Bryant consistently, whenever it comes down to the wire, especially when they're attacking and they only have a couple seconds left, they're able to get so much more leverage than I see from most teams. I mean, even there, bring it down to that 1v1 from a 3v5 to start their execute with. That's nearly unprecedented, especially when you're bottoming out the timer and getting a plant down so you only have one gun up. I mean, that's crazy.
True enough. We're gonna have a short break. I'm kind of dying, have something stuck in my throat, and we're waiting for the Rios anyway. So we'll be right back in a moment. All right, here we are, back into the action. Hopefully it wasn't too long of a break for y'all. We're going to have uOttawa coming out on top of the last round, and they stay alive in this one. But still, 2 more rounds to be found if they want to move on to overtime and try and bring us to that map 3. The pressure's still there.
That was a tight final round as well. Barely winning it out in that 1v1 with Diffuser down. I think, shoot, I've forgotten who it was. Was it Yoda? Well, I'm sorry to whoever did it if we're forgetting your clutch here already, unfortunately. The small break has frazzled that little bit of my brain, I guess. But hopefully uOttawa is not frazzled here after that break. They finally got that little bit of momentum that they need after losing 3 rounds in a row.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
Yeah, it really stopped the bleeding, but it might be too little too late, really. It's going to come down to these next 2 rounds, right? They can't make an error. Last time it went a little bit more in their favor. They didn't lose a body early. That's important, right? You can't be down a man on defense early. It's not good. You're giving up a lot of the map control, usually 2. You want to shoot some of those drones, deny them information. That's what we saw from uOttawa last time. They played the game well. Now can they do it again a second time? We do see the mute is going to be there as well, trying to deny some of that information. Got the Jaegers to save you from some nades, which we've seen some good nade kills so far. But the other thing I'm going to keep my eyes open on is that Elda with the Maestro and the Evil Eyes, because that is something that last time they pushed through the window, they got in somehow, and not the immediate last round, but 2 rounds ago, I suppose, technically speaking, and it wasn't able to do much with it. Hopefully this time we see a little bit more action. I always love to see the Elda come in and just gunning down some bodies.
Yeah, unfortunately, DKMD has just been put in some weird spots where whenever he peaks, it's just like a fraction of a second off of where he'd normally be peaking that angle, and someone's just not quite in his crosshairs. Honestly, it's just siege timing on a lot of these moments, or just coming off those cams a little bit late, one of the 2, I would suppose. Here, Bryant were slow last round. It really hurt them. They didn't get a lot of those reinforcement objectives that they were looking for. We got the sound bug again. So despite that rehouse that we just took to get rid of it, we are back on that sound bug. But that's not going to be affecting the players. Luckily, they don't need to be dealing with this. So they're still chugging along as normal. There's still roamers on the first floor from uOttawa. They're getting droned out pretty heavily, but the picks aren't there. There aren't players right behind the drones, so the kills aren't coming.
Soviet was holding the angle, but wasn't able to get the kill. They were on the left side of the door. They're holding the angle to the right, which means that he had to push past their angle to get down the stairs, and he got away with it. Didn't lose his life. Okay, sure is who I'm referring to. The Jaeger had made it down now into the basement, down those freezer stairs, so they escaped with their life. That could have been the kill that Bryant really wanted, though, had they gotten that kill. And he's going to re-peek, actually, taking even more damage, doing none back. So he's getting away with some pretty courageous moves, we'll call it. And that's going to be a little bit more time burned, probably some more drone shot as well. So this is something Bryant needs to really pounce on if they're going to feed them a chance at a kill. They have to take it.
Half of the default drones are gone. Bryant does get a kill here off of Semi's nade. Going to take out Oxshire, but okay, sure, has been playing really aggressive. He's been sort of poking at the attackers, trying to find where they're coming from. And they're finally starting to find a point of attack here through the freezer. Oh, no, but the reload takes just a little bit too long. Snakes is ending up killing his teammate while Semi gets one, and Snakes is going to get that justice, finding one for himself. It's up to Yoda with the entire match in his hands. He needs to win this, take these 2 kills in order to keep his team in at all. So he's got one of those 3 necessary as Diffuser goes down.
Yoda, 1v2 situation post-plant. This is it. This is for all the marbles. If you lose this, you're out. It's 2-0 against you. You have SMG-11 in hand. You're smoke. This is a hard angle to fight. He's going to do a lot of damage to himself by doing that peek, but isn't actually eliminated yet, so he still has a sliver of a chance here. The pixel peek through the bomb chesty is going to be allowing them access into his field of vision. They can't afford to let him push up, but the smoke's actually going to push them off. So now he has to go for the kills. He's going to swing into the player in the closet. Gets that. Now he has to find one more. He does it.
Oh,
does he have enough time for the defuse? He does it. No, it's just too late.
Oh,
no, Yoda, so close. But it's going to be uOttawa falling to Bryant 2-0. A 7-4, 7-4 match up. And that is going to be it.
Oh my god. I can't help but think that the Soundbug rehost, they literally lost by 0.2 seconds right there with the quad kill from Yoda. uOttawa does lose out here in the end. It's a 2-0, but with these round counts, I think it's 7-4 both times. It really didn't look like that, especially while we're getting towards the end of each of these maps. But huge shout out there to Yoda getting crazy clutches all throughout. I mean, I lauded him for that before, but that one especially really puts it on the tip of the cake. Bryant, on the other hand, wow, we had some crazy rounds from him. We got like a couple flawless as well. And even the ones that come down to the wire, they did so much more in such an even game state than I would expect from any other team at this level.
Yeah, they really did. It's unfortunate, it's going to be falling down to 0-3 for uOttawa, but they gave a valiant effort. We saw them play really well. Can't really knock them too hard, right? There's just some things to clean up, and some of it might be time, which it showed they tried to improve from map 1 to map 2, which is a really good sign of growth. So you got to focus on some of the positives, right? We do have some spring break issues going on right now with the scheduling. I do want to make people aware of that. A lot of schools have spring break, so that's actually going to be hosting. It's going to make us host NECC second stream because they're going to have a further stream. We will not. So there are not as many matches this week simply due to this different reschedules that had to have happened due to those teams having spring break, and that's just the way it is. But yeah, at least we got to see your cat in the background, Treasure. Nice orange blur, the speed demon. But, sound bugs, they're not fun, but at least we all got through it. We got to see a good matchup despite that a little bit at the end going wrong. But hey, stick with us. We're still going to host that other channel, so there'll be another match coming up. But thank you for watching this matchup. We appreciate your time. Any last words, Treasure, before we go?
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody. And a big shout out to the Unnamed Gamer and Michael Martinez for their work in the background doing the observation and production for today. But with that, we'll leave you guys to the rest of the NECC Siege for tonight, and we'll definitely be seeing you next week. Night, everybody.